Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel for my June wrap up. I'm sorry if there is noise in the background. I hope there isn't, but I had to turn on the AC because it's too hot and I can't do anything without the AC on right now. It's just too hot in here. So I in June I read 5 books and then I finished one book from May and I DNF'd one book. So I'm counting just 5. And in terms of genres that I read, 2/3 were epic fantasy. One was YA fantasy, one was urban fantasy, one romance, and one middle grade. So I was all over the place in June, but that's not bad. That's actually pretty good. So I want to start with my DNF, and that would be The Exiled Queen. This is book 2 in the Seven Realms series. So I read book 1 last year, like in December, I think, and I actually enjoyed it. It's a bit slower than what YA books normally are. There's a lot of build up, like a lot of character work, and I really appreciated that. So I actually liked it. I thought the characters were engaging and interesting. I don't know what happened in book 2, but all the tropes that I don't like about YA fantasy are basically here. And to be honest, it's just the female character that just made me DNF this book, because I just cannot stand that kind of attitude, and it's always in YA novels, always, and it just I can't. I can't deal with it. But yeah, I reached around 90 pages and then I decided to stop because I was not enjoying myself at all. And this is not like a DNF. I mean, I'm just taking a break from YA fantasy in general. It's not the first one I have DNF'd this year, and it won't be the last, so I just want to take a break, you know, get into adult fantasy more until I'm tired and I get back to YA fantasy a little bit. But yeah, this was a DNF for me. Didn't work out. So next one is the book that I read, that I started reading in May but I finished in June, and that is One Good Dragon Deserves Another. So this is book 2 in the Heartstriker series, and it's an urban fantasy about dragons who can turn into humans, and this our main character is a nice dragon. He's really nice, and his clan, his mother and other siblings think his being nice is weakness. So he's stuck in his human form by his mother, and he's forced to show everyone that he can be a dragon even as a human, you know. So yeah, I really liked book 1. It was fun to read, it was entertaining enough for me, and I didn't dislike book 2. Like, I really liked the fact that we got to meet the main character's family. He has so many siblings, and we finally met like the main ones. I don't know, like 4 or 5 of them, and I just really like that part, the dynamics inside his family, the drama. There's a lot of drama. I really like that part. I don't like again, I don't like the female main character, the love interest, and yeah, she just ruined the book for me. And it's this is also YA, so again we have female character that I don't like in YA. Not a surprise, but I was okay in book 1. I don't know what happened in book 2, but again, I'm not going to DNF this series. I just want a break from YA stuff, unless it's Spellslinger, because I love Spellslinger. But yeah, for now I just want a break. That's it. Next, I'm just going to quickly talk about the romance that I read. It's called Dirty Wicked Prince. It's it's one of those romance books that I buy for no reason at all, except that I see it somewhere or that the cover looks nice. And then when I read it, I feel, why did I even buy this? And that's what I thought while I was reading it. Again, this is enemies to lovers kind of romance. It's alright, like the story is okay, the characters were okay, but I felt there were so many uh, issues with the writing. Like there were many repetitions or missing words, misspelled words, and it was just so many that it really bothered my experience. Like if it were just a few, I wouldn't mind, but it was just so many, and I couldn't. Like every time I would stop and roll my eyes because again this is happening. But yeah, it is what it is. It did entertain me, so I guess it did its job, which is to entertain me when I'm bored. So let's move on from romance. The other book that I read is Natural Phenomena by Chadwick. I hope Simon Chadwick. I hope I'm saying it right. This is a middle grade book, and this was such a surprise for me because I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. It's a middle grade about two boys who are they step into this other world that is basically just a huge forest full of monsters, and they find these like town, like fortification, and inside they meet other humans, but they all come from different worlds. So we also get to see like other characters that are not human, and it was just really fun to read. There's so much action, like so much stuff happens in this book, and I loved the creatures of the forest. Basically, every chapter is dedicated to one creature, and there's a little drawing at the beginning of the chapter that will help you visualize said creature, and it was just really interesting. And I always love when authors do this kind of stuff because it takes so much work to come up with so many creatures and also like drawings of the creatures. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. You know, it's got its issues, but that's just because it's a middle grade book, so you know the dialogue sometimes feel a bit strange, but and yeah, the characters themselves, like there's not we don't get to know them very well, but that's just how middle grade books are. You know, it's all about the action and the world building usually. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I think it's something that both children and adults would like. Like it's a really nice read, and I would recommend it definitely if you like middle grade, if you read it sometimes, or if you have kids. I would definitely recommend this book. Next one, I read Legends and Lattes, and this is such a popular book. Like I'm sure you've seen it everywhere recently. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, this was just what I thought it would be. It was so cozy, so warm, and it made me happy. Like reading this book really made me happy, which is not something that happens with the kind of fantasy I usually read. And it really made me want to drink coffee and eat cinnamon rolls at 1 in the morning. So I just loved the description of the food, because this is about an orc opening a coffee shop and there's also food inside, and just all my senses were into the story. So it was just really awesome. Like I loved it. It was so good. Next one on my list is King's Radiance by Luke Schultz. This is a self-pub debut novel. It's about three siblings who basically are separated when they're really young. The middle one, the sister Isha, is kidnapped, and then we have the older brother Dazen, who stays with their father because he's the heir, so he has to, take over the kingdom. And then we have the younger brother Reyes, who just wants to get his sister back, and he becomes like a rebel, and he just wants her back. And I'm not going to say too much about this one because I feel like you need to get to it without knowing too much. And I like this story. The story is really interesting, and I already left a review, and I say in the review that I really like the magic system. It's really cool. It's all about the sun. So basically these people, they can absorb the sun rays, and then they use them, like they can store them inside their bodies, and then like use them, can control them. They can create weapons and stuff like that. It's really, really cool, and there's so many details, like things to control them or to prevent them from using the powers, stuff like that. It's really, really cool magic system. And I thought the world building was also really well done. I actually enjoyed the descriptive paragraphs. So when we find a new place, or we're just generally talking about what's going on, I really like those paragraphs. I did have a few issues. One of them was with the dialogues. So this is what happened. I would enjoy the descriptive paragraph so much. I would be sucked into the world, and then there would be a dialogue that would just pull me right out of the story. Because, and this is something that I have seen in many other self-pub debut novels, the dialogues are not the greatest ones. Like, the lines are sometimes a bit awkward, unnecessary, or just they feel very strange. Like, and sometimes they would just stop in the middle of the action and start talking about like emotional stuff, and I thought, like, why are you talking about this right now? Like, you are about to, you're in the middle of an action. Just do the action, and then, I don't know, sit around the fire and talk about emotions and stuff, right? But yeah, it's not. I feel like it's more my taste. Okay, really, I like to visualize whatever I read, and sometimes I find it really hard with characters because of the dialogues. And I feel like it just takes a lot of experience. It's probably, I don't know, but I guess maybe dialogues are probably one of the hardest things to write for debut authors, because almost every single debut novel that I read, I had issues with the dialogues. So yeah, that was an issue, but it was my personal taste. And the beginning as well, I didn't like the beginning much. But I just want to say that if you decide to give this book a try, which you should, and when you read the prologue you feel like me, so you don't like the prologue, just keep reading it, because it does get better. And yeah, don't judge just the entire book just because you don't like the prologue. Keep reading, it will get better. And last one is my favorite book of the month, and that is The Golden Fool by Robin Hobb, book 2 in the Toyman trilogy. So, uh, it was so hard to pick my favorite book of the month, because I didn't really read a lot of really great books, but at the same time it was not that hard, because this is definitely the best one I read. So this is a middle book, and it feels like a middle book. Like, nothing happens. It's just a setup for the third book. There's just a lot of character development, which is the strength when it comes to Robin Hobb. So nothing happens in this book, but I loved it. Like, there is so much drama, family drama, political drama. There's so much drama in this book. So many interactions between the characters, and it was just really good. I love, this is one of the reasons why I love Robin Hobb. Like, the way her characters interact with each other, the dialogues, like everything that has to do with the characters is just perfect. I just love it. And it's so easy for me to visualize the characters compared to other books that I read. That this is probably the reason why I love Robin Hobb so much. But yeah, this was definitely my favorite book of the month, and it made me really excited to read book 3. So that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments if you read any of these books. What did you think of them? Let me know what you read in June and what was your favorite book of the month. And that's all. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.